Love in Rome by Clara Winslow. The late afternoon sun painted Rome in shades of amber and gold, casting long shadows across centuries-old cobblestones as Isabella Walker adjusted her professional camera. Standing before the Roman Forum, she found herself mesmerized by how the fading light transformed the ancient stones into a photographer's dream. As an art historian specializing in Renaissance architecture, she had spent years preparing for this sabbatical, 6 months to research and document the Eternal City's artistic heritage for her upcoming book. 3 weeks into her stay, Isabella had developed a comfortable rhythm. Her mornings began in the Vatican Library, poring over historical documents and architectural plans. Afternoons were dedicated to visiting churches and museums, photographing the intricate details that made Roman architecture unique. After the fast-paced academic life in London, the gentler tempo of Roman living was an adjustment she welcomed, even if it sometimes left her feeling adrift in the sea of tourists and locals. The cool October breeze rustled the papers in her research journal as she crouched to capture the subtle details of a Corinthian column. Through her viewfinder, she noticed how the late afternoon light highlighted the acanthus leaves carved into the capital, creating shadows that revealed the craftsman's skill. "Scusi, signorina," a polite voice interrupted her concentration. "You might want to try from this angle. The light creates better contrast from here, especially at this hour." Isabella lowered her camera to find a man in his early 30s standing nearby, holding a leather portfolio case. He wore a well-tailored navy blazer over a white shirt, his attire suggesting a professional who appreciated classic style. His suggestion made perfect sense. The angle he indicated would indeed capture the play of light and shadow more effectively. "Thank you," she replied, moving to the suggested position. "Are you a photographer yourself?" He smiled, revealing laugh lines around warm brown eyes. "An architect, actually. Luca Rossi?" He gestured to his portfolio. "I come here often to sketch. The ancient Romans understood principles of design we're still trying to master today." Isabella's professional interest was immediately piqued. "Isabella Walker," she introduced herself. "I'm an art historian from University College London researching Renaissance architectural influences for an upcoming book." "Ah, then you absolutely must visit Sant'Ivo alla Sapienza," Luca said, his enthusiasm evident. "Borromini's manipulation of natural light there is remarkable, particularly during Vespers. The way the dome captures and diffuses the light is unlike anything else in Rome." They fell into an animated discussion about architectural theory, with Luca sharing insights about several lesser-known churches that would be perfect for her research. His knowledge wasn't just academic, he understood the buildings as living structures, sharing stories about restoration projects and the challenges of preserving ancient techniques. "I'm planning to photograph Sant'Ivo tomorrow afternoon, actually," Isabella said, surprised by how quickly time had passed during their conversation. "Would you be interested in joining me? Your perspective on the structural elements would be invaluable." Luca's face brightened. "I'd enjoy that very much. Perhaps afterward I could show you a family-run trattoria nearby. They serve the most authentic cacio e pepe in Rome, a recipe passed down through 4 generations." Over the following weeks, Isabella and Luca developed a warm friendship based on their shared passion for architecture. Luca revealed Rome's hidden treasures, a perfectly preserved Renaissance courtyard concealed behind an unassuming facade, a tiny church with remarkable Quattrocento frescoes, a medieval tower that now housed a local artist's studio. Each discovery was accompanied by Luca's insights into the building's history and construction, making the city come alive in new ways. Their conversations flowed easily from architectural theory to personal stories, often continuing through cups of espresso at corner cafes or early dinners at neighborhood restaurantes. Luca shared tales of growing up in Rome's historic center, while Isabella spoke of her journey from a small town in Yorkshire to the competitive world of London academia. One evening, as they walked along the Tiber River after visiting a recently restored palazzo, Luca seemed unusually quiet. The setting sun reflected off the water, creating a peaceful atmosphere broken only by the distant sound of church bells. "I need to go to Florence next week," he finally said, stopping to lean against the stone balustrade. "A restoration project at the Palazzo Medici requires my expertise. I'll be away for 10 days. Isabella was surprised by the hollow feeling his announcement created. "That sounds fascinating. What kind of restoration work?" "Structural reinforcement of the original 15th century elements," he explained, then added more softly, "I'll miss our architectural expeditions." "I will too," Isabella admitted, watching the last rays of sunlight dance across the river. "You've shown me a Rome I never would have discovered on my own." Luca turned to face her, his expression earnest. "When I return, perhaps we could explore some of Rome's other treasures together." There's an outdoor film festival beginning in Trastevere next month. They're showing classic Italian cinema under the stars. Isabella felt warmth spread through her chest. I'd like that very much. During Luca's absence, Isabella threw herself into her research, but found her thoughts often drifting to their conversations. She realized their connection had grown beyond professional admiration into something deeper, built on shared values and genuine understanding. When they reunited at the film festival, sitting together beneath a canopy of stars, while Fellini's La Dolcita played, the chemistry between them felt as natural as breathing. As autumn progressed, their relationship blossomed. Luca introduced Isabella to his family, including her in traditional Sunday lunches where his mother taught her the secrets of proper Italian cooking. Isabella shared her favorite spots for capturing Rome at dawn when the first light transformed the ancient city into a photographer's paradise. They explored museums together, now seeing the art through each other's eyes, Luca understanding the historical context Isabella provided, while she gained new appreciation for the technical aspects he pointed out. One crisp December evening, they stood before the Trevi Fountain. The Baroque masterpiece was quieter than usual, the tourist crowds thinned by the winter chill. The sound of cascading water created a peaceful backdrop as Isabella gathered her courage. "I've been offered a position at the University of Rome," she said, watching the play of light on the water. "A joint appointment in architectural history and heritage preservation." Luca's eyes lit up with hope. "And?" "I accepted this morning," she smiled, feeling suddenly lighter. "It seems Rome has more to teach me than I expected." Luca took her hands in his smile radiant. "Rome has a way of changing the plans we make," he said softly, "sometimes for the better." As the fountain's waters danced behind them and evening bells echoed across the eternal city, Isabella realized she had found something far more valuable than the architectural treasures she'd come to study. In Rome's ancient streets, she discovered not just history and art, but a future built on shared passion, mutual respect, and a love that had grown as naturally as the ivy that adorned the city's timeless walls. Looking up at Luca, she saw her own joy reflected in his eyes. They had started as two professionals sharing their expertise. But Rome, with its layers of history, art, and romance, had woven their stories together into something beautiful and unexpected. As they walked hand in hand through the lamplit streets, Isabella knew that her greatest discovery in the Eternal City hadn't been architectural at all. It had been finding a love that felt as timeless as Rome itself.